What have I done? What have I become? I can't describe this. This is my mid-mic crisis.
Hello and welcome to the Mid-Mic Crisis. I am Bunchu alongside my esteemed colleague and co-host Chamber. Chamber, you got a hue about you in the room today. How you doing, buddy?
It's the golden hour.
The golden hour.
Not to be confused with the golden shower.
No, different. Smashernoons, golden hour, golden shower, whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You're looking good. You've got that nice background lighting today, and you are ready to rock and roll. Me, I'm sitting here in the dark room with only my face lit as it should be. But what is going on? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been solo for the last 48 hours or so. And it's being by yourself is so weird sometimes, especially like when you have so many people around you most of the time.
You're really leaning into that adult male loneliness we've been talking about, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, it's just weird just being alone. There's nobody to. I don't think I said 3 words today until just now.
Hey, it wasn't for lack of trying. I told you an hour ago I was going to jump in here, and you just left me on red, bro. So
well, we're very similar in the way that we go down rabbit holes.
Yes.
And I've been down one for the last few days. So yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. I have been jumping from rabbit hole to rabbit hole lately, and but it's all in the name of content and the show and all of those good things. So
does this can make me look like a giant?
Yes.
Do you guys have mini? Do you guys have mini cans in the States?
Yes, we do. My wife buys mini Diet Cokes.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm gonna have 2 of them. My wife does the same thing. I'm gonna drink 2 of them, but yeah, it makes me feel like Andre the Giant holding a
Today's show is brought to you by Mini Cokes. Mini Cokes. They'll make you look like a giant.
Hello, pretty lady.
Mini Cokes. Measure your junk with it. Shit.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's good.
I shouldn't be allowed to do these anymore. But anyway, that'll do it for us for the cold open. Let's get right into it today. We're going to talk some AI news. We're going to show you some stuff we've been working on. And I don't know, you got any other segments today?
Possibly. We're going to talk. I have some things to show you. There's some TikToks that I would like to review with you. I think there's 2 specifically that we can pull up. And
wow,
one is NFL related. I think I sent you that the other day. I'm gonna have to dig back into the archives and find it. But and I think there was one. I don't even remember what it was now. I dropped. Oh yeah, some Disney news that I want to get your feedback on.
Disney news.
Good Disney news. At least for our generation.
It's a whole new world out there. And we're gonna take a magic carpet ride through the latest AI news, and that'll lead us right into our artificial unintelligence segment.
Feeling dumb, want some fun, time for some artificial unintelligence.
All right, Chamber. So we have been talking for probably the last few weeks about this Project Strawberry. It all started with the rumors around the Strawberry Man himself on Twitter. The conspiracies were ripe with Ripe. Strawberry. Huh, I'm all over it today. You think an AI is going to replace that wit? You
Mm-mm.
just don't even know. The pattern matching that goes on in this brain is just elite. So we've been talking about this for the last couple weeks. It started with the rumor around the Strawberry Man and that he could potentially even be a Sam Altman alt account or a agent himself. And I feel like that's been, pretty disproven at this point. However,
Yeah, I think
I,
so. I think we
I
did the
have,
most disproving on that, by the way.
yeah, I have been on some Twitter spaces where the Strawberry Man is involved, and they do only speak through an AI model. So like you never hear his voice. And it's a pretty good inference. Like it's going quickly. But so that's been disproven. However, there was like crazy, crazy news that came out yesterday about what this Project Strawberry actually is and what we can potentially expect in the next couple months here from OpenAI in general. We've also been talking, lately a lot about how it felt a little bit like OpenAI had been getting even playing field or potentially surpassed by some of these other companies and their latest models. And we've kind of just been waiting for the shoe to drop on when OpenAI was going to release something. And this news came out yesterday through an article from The Information talking about specifically what Project Strawberry is. And we'll get into it here. Do you know anything about it, or should I start from the top?
I mean, you know me. I peruse articles and watch the first few minutes of videos about it. So,
What do you think your average watch time on a video is?
on an informational video,
Yeah,
3 minutes, 4
so
minutes.
you only get like a little bit of the information.
If you're not telling me what I need to know in the first 3 minutes, I'm good. I'm good. I feel like the bulk of the information happens there.
Well, we're 7.5 minutes into this show, and all we've talked about is measuring your junk against a mini Coke can. So I
mean,
think
we
we've
have our
lost
niche.
I think we've lost more than our fair share of listeners or watchers at this point so far. Okay, so we were even talking about, is Project Strawberry potentially GPT 4.5 or GPT 5 and things like that? And what can we expect from this? So this news came out yesterday, and basically it laid out the framework of kind of what Project Strawberry is. And it is being referred to as kind of a new tool or a new model from OpenAI designed for enhanced reasoning and problem solving capabilities. And this is expected to be integrated directly into ChatGPT by the fall. So I think what's interesting to note here is they do describe it as a tool. It is not necessarily the new model, right? So the answer of is Project Strawberry GPT-5, I would say no, right?
No, correct.
That it is not. It is going to be this module or tool that is integrated into ChatGPT. Again, rumored to be or expected by the fall. However, OpenAI has a recent track record of announcing stuff and not deploying it. We're still waiting for the rollout of advanced voice mode that was demoed in April or May. So we're just out here talking to dumb voice mode. I'd rather just be, talking to Siri at this point, I mean,
Yeah.
But so key features of this Project Strawberry. Advanced reasoning, which we touched on. So this is aiming to solve complex math and programming problems, surpassing all capabilities of the previous models that they have. So right there, that's super interesting. So we're talking about advanced reasoning over math and programming problems. What is your gut reaction when you hear this?
Well, I wasn't even aware of it until we talked about it last time, but just then how I just assumed these models were reading the same way I read,
Mhm.
except for better. Um, but I didn't realize how these models took in that information, like, the whole strawberry thing with the R's and that kind of thing. So it kind of made me rethink how these chatbots kind of learn and how they think. So the fact that they're discussing kind of taking these new models that are going to take more time to think and break down the question is very interesting to me.
Yeah. So here's some kind of deeper context of what they describe it to potentially be able to do. And I would even say not potentially, like this is probably done and it's in testing and red teaming and all of those things right now. And so here is what they claim about some of these parts of this advanced reasoning features. So, they're saying that it is able to solve math problems that it's never encountered. That's one, right?
Okay.
So what does that mean,
I don't
right?
know. I mean,
Okay.
most math problems I haven't encountered. So,
Well, correct, but this has. And so the interesting thing here is when we talk about you know, I think there's this big debate out there on can LLMs or large language models or these AI models be creative or create novel things? And the argument against no, right, is that it's really just reiterating or combining things that it has in its training data set, right? So,
right.
like, it technically can only know what it's been trained on. And whether something is novel to you because you have never seen it, right,
Yeah.
is a little different than it knowing and pulling something from its training set. So, you know, uh, when you ask it a math problem that you've never seen before, Chamber, that doesn't mean it's never seen it, because in theory, it's been trained on the history of math on the entire internet, right?
The
So
whole, the whole thing, the whole math is what you're telling
all
me.
of math, yeah,
All
everything.
of the math. Okay.
One plus one equals two, and so forth, right?
What's
So
the theorem? I can't even think of the.
Pythagorean theorem.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
you
looking
you
for.
don't know anything about
See,
that one.
it's novel
Yeah.
to me. It's
No,
novel
it
to
is
me.
novel. But what this means is, okay, if you're separating things out from its data set and it's able to solve them, that's really interesting. It means that it can reason
Mhm.
and it can, I'm not going to say think, but perform high level task that it has not seen before. So that's very impactful. So they talk about it being able to do other such tasks as developing marketing strategies and solving complex word puzzles. So, example that they give here is that the new model is able to solve the New York Times puzzle connections, which is crazy because I mean that's a new puzzle every day, right? So it's
Right.
obviously not in its training set, but so it can do things like that. So math, programming, modeling, all of that kind of stuff. It claims that it scores over a 90% on the math benchmark, which is a collection of championship level math problems. And so by comparison, GPT-4 only scored 53%, and GPT-4o, which we're all using now, got a 76.6%.
When I
And
got 76% or higher, I got
you
I
got
got a
taken
cake.
out to
I got a
Tim
cake.
Hortons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a in the old school Tim Hortons where they had the revolving cake drawers.
And the smoking section.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
You miss
Bring me
you miss
back.
a good smoking section.
Oh, that's how I got caught smoking the first time. We were at the local Tim
Wait, you
Hortons.
were at a Denny's in the smoking section?
No, I was at the Tim Hortons I was, I don't know, 15 or 16 years old. in the smoking section with my friends, hacking darts, drinking double doubles. And my mom went through the drive-through, and the drive-through went right by the window of the smoking section, and she just saw me just hauling on darts. And she pointed at me, and we talked about it when I got home.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what happened?
No, they were cool. My parents.
Yeah,
were
you still smoke today.
Yeah, I had one right before the show. I'm a sporadic smoker, so it's not.
Seasonal.
I enjoy them less and less, though. That being said, I don't have the same enjoyment every time. Every time I buy a seasonal pack, it's not as good as it used to be.
I get it, but yeah. So when you get a 76 on your math test, you get a
pack of darts,
a cookie, and a pack of darts. Yeah, and GPT does as well. You get that little thumbs up, and that's its reward. It's like, oh, I did a good job. So anyway, then we GPT 4.0 76.6%. So this is over possibly almost 20% better, 15% better, which is big. And the GPT 4.0 model is currently the highest math benchmarking score of all of the models out there.
Really?
So this is better than the best, right? So that's the kind of advanced reasoning portion of this and what the implications are there. So the other thing here it talks about is autonomous internet navigation. So the fact that it can perform deep research by autonomously navigating the internet, which is kind of one of these things that people have been trying to hack together or build these agent frameworks for the last 18 months or so. And they're kind of there, kind of not. And this would be seemingly a much bigger step in that direction. What do you think about autonomous internet navigation, and what does that mean to you, Chamber?
I mean, I've been looking for autonomous internet navigation for many years. I don't trust incognito mode at all. I feel like all of my
no, this is autonomous, not anonymous.
Oh, whoa, sorry.
No, this is so this thing will watch the porn for you, not hide the fact that you're watching the porn.
Speaking of, just a little dad advice here. Maybe 1 second here. I'm gonna.
What does Chamber do on incognito mode? The world may never know.
I'm gonna give some dad talk here. 1 sec. We're gonna hop in a dad talk.
We're going right into a
dad talk. Dad talk. It's time for some dad talk.
Just a little PSA for the dads out there. I know a lot of people will, you get an iPad or, I lost him. I think he took himself out. As your children get older, you're going to want to give them, iPads and iPhones, maybe previous ones that you've used. And a little, tidbit of advice. Where'd your video go, by the way? I can't see anymore. Is it just me?
I told you I was going to go to solo mode when you had a monologue. You don't listen.
I want to talk to you.
No, I want you to talk to the
people. This is advice for you. So, Bunch, as your kids get older and you're going to want them to, you're going to want to give them some old devices that you've had. Those are all still connected to your Apple account. Meaning, any sneaky way you go about watching adult content on maybe old devices you have. Maybe you have a separate device for that kind of thing. Well, they are connected. I noticed on my daughter's iPad, I went into the Safari and there was some icons that popped up that I know she wasn't using. They were definitely mine. Little PH icon, little orange and black PH icon. Highly recommend you create a new Apple ID. Unfortunately, for those older devices, or if you want to have a separate adults only device, make sure you create a separate Apple ID because you do not want your kids accidentally stumbling upon your history. So that's my PSA for all the dads out there.
This was an incredible dad talk segment, Chamber, and this is, I think, a really great point. And I told you before the show, maybe you were not paying attention, that I was going to go to solo mode a couple times while, each of
No,
us were
was not paying
talking.
attention.
And well, that's because I think it'll set up better for clips. I
I
think
see what you're saying.
so I wanted, now you are going to have this wonderful opportunity to clip that solo dad talk segment for yourself and put it out there on the internet for the whole world to see. And
Unbelievable.
because that is information that
it's good. It is good
everywhere.
advice.
It's
good advice.
Great advice. Yeah, I've had to Google how to delete those little automatic bookmarks myself.
Yeah. I mean, I like to have them there, but I don't want them to be, spread around to the other devices.
Right. Yeah. That's like an autonomous internet agent.
Yeah. Don't get autonomous mixed up with anonymous.
Yeah, because guess what? You will think you're browsing in incognito mode, and actually you're just sending your agent out to do your bidding for you. Yeah, so we are not talking anonymous internet navigation. We are talking autonomous, meaning you can send out the agent to do things for you, like research and planning and all of that stuff. How does that strike you?
That is interesting. I like the idea of that. I mean, I think this is the way you have to, this is the way it has to work in order for it to continuously learn, right? I think that's the goal of of this kind of autonomous website or web traffic navigation. But yeah, I think it, at the end of the day, in order to continuously learn, it has to do that, right?
Well, I mean, the implications of this are huge, right? So,
right.
I mean, you could potentially have a project that, you could use this as a teammate, right? Like,
right.
Okay, go and create our entire show plan for the week on these topics, right? And it's going to go out and do something like that and maybe present you back a document or with sources and outlines and a schedule and all of that kind of stuff, right? So that's the kind of things we're talking about, creating a marketing plan for your company based on X, Y, and Z, and go look up and find everything you can about my competitors, including how many icons they have passed throughout their Wi-Fi and devices, so
yes, this is what we need. This is what we need.
That's it. Okay, another piece here, synthetic data generation. So this one is interesting for me because it can go out and look at, search the internet on its own and do reasoning and planning. It means it could also create synthetic data, and that is essential for potentially creating and training newer models and bigger models. So the idea here that is a common argument or evidence that maybe these models will plateau at some point in the future. The idea is kind of one of the working ideas is if you keep scaling the data and scaling the compute. So you basically give it more data and you throw more compute at it, that these models will get smarter and smarter and smarter, right?
Right.
And so some people say that's true. There's a whole camp that says that's not the way we're going to get to AGI. It's not even this LLM or transformer thing.
Really?
Anything else. Yeah. So, but there's a camp that says, man, you just keep scaling these things with more data, more compute, we're going to get there. So,
makes sense. That's the camp I would be in.
Yeah. I mean, it's proven true, right? They just keep getting bigger and better. And, so this is where, Chamber, when you hear things like the 405 billion parameter llama model from Facebook, from Meta, the 405 billion is how many parameters it's been trained on, which is like how many data points and things, right? So the argument of these things plateauing is that they're going to run out of data to train on. You know, like there's only so much internet that you can
It's a good point.
So the idea that you can create high quality synthetic data that mimics a lot of what it's already been trained on means that you could potentially keep scaling these things bigger.
I never thought about that. There is an end to the internet. You know,
Yeah.
I kind of think like the universe where it's just like infinitely grows, but there is a point where you're like, oh, I've looked at everything on the internet, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
you're almost there.
Almost there. Almost there.
Yeah, you're almost there. ZG says, couldn't wait 32 minutes. He's always fashionably late, but he gets here at some point. So welcome to the show, ZG. Yeah, but so this is the idea about synthetic data generation because, and actually it's really interesting too, in terms of like other use cases, right? So not only just training these models, but models in general for anything, predictive analytic models, they all use data sets, right? And the more data you have in your data set, the more accurate of predictions and more patterns you can find and things like that, right? So think about it in terms of, my sports betting modeling hobby, right? Where
which is it's getting kicked in soon, isn't it? Like are we already betting? Are we already betting?
It's about time. It's like last week was week 1 or week 0. This week's week 1, and this is
week 0 is preseason.
No, in college football, there is actually a week 0. It's not all the teams play. There's only a couple.
Got you.
There was.
But when doesn't NFL start soon?
Week next Thursday after Labor Day. Yeah,
I did ask ChatGPT how much data is on the internet.
Are we talking flops? You getting teraflops?
We're talking zettabytes.
Oh wow! Ask it how many teraflops.
How much? So it's 120 zettabytes. How much is that in teraflops? Is that what you said?
Wait, so how many zettabytes?
120.
Okay, so how many? Ask him how many megabytes are in it, or gigabytes are in a zettabyte.
How much is that? Let's find out.
You should be using voice mode. Do voice mode and have it answer right to your mic.
Maybe I'll do that next time. Gigabytes.
I'm gonna do it right now while you're looking at it.
All right, so 1 zettabyte is equal to 1 trillion gigabytes. I feel like people don't understand the size of a billion. They don't understand what a trillion is, because people have trouble understanding billion. No one understands trillion. And
theme of the day here from ZG.
High number. I've been alone for the last 48 hours. It's a high number.
That's what I mean. You've consumed almost all the internet.
All of it. Yeah, all of it.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so like these things can help you train other types of models that are not necessarily LLMs, but I can think of a million use cases for this in, the medical field, right? If you're able to create a bunch of synthetic data that it can be, training on for problems in the medical field or anything, right?
You say medical field, you start to think of like, what are some of the potential, what is some of the potential issues that arrive from doing X, you know what I mean? And then you feed it all of the variables and then it kind of solves for that. I like that idea a lot. It's hard to imagine how much it could actually do. You know what I mean? In a year from now, it's going to be silly.
It's going to be, which is why we talk about it every week now, because people need to know and people need to get out in front of it. And it's like, you feel like you're banging your head against stuff now. It feels hard. But if in a year from now, you're going to be able to do anything almost, right? And so if you're not playing around with these tools now and familiarizing yourself with what's going on, you're going to be you're going to feel like you're left behind. I think there's a world in AI where there's abundance for everybody. But if, you know, we don't do a good job to educate, it's not going to feel that way. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Robots will perform surgery pain. Absolutely. They're going to cure cancer. They're going to cure all these kinds of diseases. I mean, you have the ability to potentially, like, you know, solve climate change with stuff like this. If we're talking about tools with these types of capabilities, right? So the last thing here that it highlights is self-learning and logical thinking, which is what we kind of covered before. When you have all these things put together, that's what you get. And the project incorporates algorithms like Q learning and A-star search to improve decision-making and problem-solving skills, aiming for a form of artificial general intelligence. So that's the strawberry. So that's the deals of what we've been talking about for Project Strawberry for the last couple of weeks. Finally getting a little glimpse into what that is. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think the interesting part was there was an article that came out, I think, from the Independent, and they were talking about how they were showing this to the U.S. National Security Council, and I think they said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they said because obviously with the United States, security is a big, you guys want to keep your secrets. You don't want China or Russia getting involved, and I believe the takeaway was they were going to make this open source, and this was going to be available as opposed to having a leak to foreign enemy. I don't know if they're enemies, but like countries that you don't necessarily want having it. They said, you know what, screw it. We're just this is just going to be available. We're going to make this open source. And just take away that level of security. So I think that was part of the conversation they were having with the U.S. National Security Council. So we'll see what comes of that. But I thought that was an interesting, a little tidbit of information.
The fact that they are showing this to the feds means it's pretty powerful, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
So that's what I mean. The scale of like what's coming is going to blow people's minds. And if you're not paying attention, you need to be. So that's the truth of it, right? So like there's not many public systems, profile companies like this that you get to kind of use their tools on a daily basis and then also know what they're working on, and what they're working on and have is stuff that's scaring governments. Like that's pretty telling. No,
very telling.
Yeah. So on top of the Project Strawberry stuff, there was reference to something called Project Orion. And this is another kind of different initiative from OpenAI aimed at developing their kind of new flagship frontier language model that could potentially be the successor of GPT-4o and possibly named GPT-5, but it sounds like maybe we're going to get a new name like Orion. The aspects of this enhanced AI security and capabilities designed to set new standards in development, integration with the Strawberry model. So my guess, maybe they come out at the same time, which is really interesting to think about. Like you may get this step change really quickly coming in the fall. I mean, gosh, it's almost fall already. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And then focus on national security. So this might be the part where we were talking about the feds too, right? OpenAI has demonstrated Orion's capabilities to national security officials, highlighting its potential impact on AI safety and regulatory practices. So this is the crazy part. This is the thing that blows my mind. They're like, yeah, we have GPT-5, but it's so fucking crazy that we need to show the National Security Agency because it is that wild. So like, I don't know, man. We're probably going to get some watered down version of what this thing can actually do,
totally.
which scares the shit out of me. Really, like, I'm less scared about everybody having them than I am scared knowing the tech exists and you can't touch it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because then everything's a psyop, probably.
I mean, I feel like we're already there, and it's just going to be even harder to distinguish what the next
Yeah.
up is going to be.
Von Frunten doesn't even know if I'm real.
Bro, you sent me a video today.
You want to see it?
Yeah, I mean, people need to see this. This is wild
Okay.
stuff.
Give me a second while you're
maybe
talking.
a we've been trying to the daily bites have been a very popular addition to the show. My mom and I were listening to it. My mom was visiting over the weekend. She listened to it. She was blown away. She didn't believe that it wasn't me talking, and I showed her I brought her to 11 Labs and showed her.
Your voice is pretty good.
It's my mom, and she did not believe it. We were throwing around. We were chat. I think it was yesterday when we were talking.
Me and you, yeah.
Yeah, we were throwing around the idea of maybe doing like prank calls to our friends and family using on the show. So using our voice clone. And I think that would be fun. So we're going to figure out a way to integrate that. Maybe we'll prank call mom or prank call our siblings or something. But I think, to see if they can figure it out. But I feel like they won't, especially if you don't tell them. But the video component was the next level. So like, can we make video versions of ourselves? And you sent me one today, and
You ready? You ready for it?
I'm ready. I don't think the people are ready.
Okay, here we go. We're going solo mode here. Should we go?
Yeah.
Well, this is the only way you're going to know it's not me if I'm on the screen at the same time, huh?
That's a fair point.
Ready? Welcome to the Daily Ember, your AI-powered source for the latest in artificial intelligence news. I'm Joe, your enthusiastic, slightly nerdy host, and today we're diving deep into a groundbreaking development that's set to reshape our digital landscape. That was one. I got one more that I can show you in a second.
There you go.
Yeah. And I made this today with HeyGen.
Yeah, you were just shooting me videos all morning.
Yeah. And so hold on, we'll stop that one. I'll do one more here really quick. And this is the one where did I send you? Which one did I send you this morning? This one.
Yeah, you sent me two. I think you sent
this
me
was
three
from
total.
this was from the Daily Bite. So we're gonna share this one. Welcome to Mid-Mic Crisis Daily Bite. I'm Bunchu, joined by the fashionably challenged Chamber. Today, we're diving into OpenAI's latest brainchild, Strawberry AI. Chamber, ready to have your mind blown?
It's wild. It's so crazy.
Yeah,
I was blown away.
It's gonna get weird, dude.
It is gonna get weird. Now you're limited for the length of those, correct? Like you would be, we were kind of talking about it. You would have to make like 10-second clips back and forth in order to create this.
Depends on what plan you have with this particular service. I can
That's
make
HeyGen?
Yeah, so I can make under the basic plan of HeyGen. They actually just went to unlimited videos, which is cool. So I can make as many and up to 60 seconds per. So
interesting.
That's pretty good. And on other plans, you can do much longer, but 60 seconds is good. And if we did this for the Daily Bite, you could. I mean, all of our segments are only 12 to 15 seconds long with the interaction between them. So you could potentially do the whole thing that way, which would be
Can you pull up the I really like the cartoon one. Because I don't know if you have that one, but I like the idea.
Yeah.
I like the idea of us being cartoons in these mini episodes.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
I think it's a bit more fun, and then it's less eerie.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Right. So like I think the HeyGen one is cool for like the intro of like, here's what I'm talking about today.
Correct.
And then it goes through the rest of the show, right? To do the whole show like that is a little uncanny
Off-putting.
valley, right?
Correct.
Yeah. But if it's like little bits and pieces, or it's like, okay, the intro, and then you cut back to me at some other point in the show,
Right.
and then you cut away again, like that feels natural, right?
Yeah.
But okay, so we're trying to do this. Like, this is what we are headed towards.
We're working hard in the background.
We're trying to build a world in which these are automated and created, and we can put out all types of content. Are you ready for this one?
This one's my favorite one.
This kind of reminds me of, you remember the show Wienerville?
No, I don't remember. No.
Oh man, Mark Weiner.
I didn't have Nickelodeon. I had YTV here in Canada.
Go Google while you're watching this. Google Wienerville with Mark Weiner, and you'll know what I'm talking about when I do this. You ready?
Yeah. Oh, we got no audio on that one. I have no audio on that one.
No audio. Dang. Well, it's doing the same thing at the last one you just
I love
heard,
this. I think this is terrific. I would watch this all day.
So,
Wienerville.
do you like it as talking? Like, do you? I don't know if
I think the same idea. I think the same idea is instead of having the actual face, maybe that's the start, and then maybe there's clips of what we're talking about. You know what I mean? And then it kind of comes back and forth. But it's yeah. No, that's full disclosure mode. This is not incognito mode. Wienerville, add it to my. I accepted all cookies, so I don't know what that means. It might follow me around. Other searches like Wienerville, Dong Dynasty.
Yeah, so we've got that's all stuff we're working on in the background. If you haven't checked out the Mid-Mic Daily Bites, we can show you that right now, because Chamber, you've been working on some stuff in the background too. You want to show the people?
Yeah, so
10 minutes here.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was working on. You want to do it through the site?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to show you guys. Do you want to give them the backstory on why I started making the website?
I'm not sure I know why.
Do you remember that? So I Google Mid-Mic Crisis all the time to see where.
Yeah, this is great.
So I'm a lunatic. I as fun as I am, I'm very
neurotic.
Very neurotic. It's unbelievable. So I'm continuously trying to find how our podcast is doing, how the show's doing, if we're showing up on any like top podcast or top show lists.
The answer is always no.
Always. I mean, yes, correct. Most of the time, no. It's because I didn't even put in the right one. So yes, it's always no. But with Mid-Mic Crisis specifically, there is a British rap group called Mid-Mic Crisis that haven't been very relevant, I'd say, in the last like 10 plus years. So I thought, we could just take this name and run with it. But our presence hasn't been all that good. So Google doesn't see us as a threat to the original Mid-Mic Crisis. So I'm like, well, we need a website. We need to really SEO the shit out of our show. So that's going to start with a website. So this idea came to me over the weekend. On Sunday afternoon, I thought I could just use AI to create a website. And I didn't really like, because of my neuroses, I didn't
neuroses.
That's the one too. I didn't like that I couldn't control absolutely every aspect of the process. So I just decided to do it the old-fashioned way and learn how to create a website. And over the past 2.5 days, I made this. So this is midmiccrisis.com. As you can see here. One sec, let me scroll over to it. So you can see this is our show. I learned all about SEO. You know, it's got the weekly live stream. You can watch, you can listen, a little section about me and you here, frequently asked questions, you know, stuff like, what is the best AI chatbot? You know, what else do we want to know? We want to know how to buy Bitcoin. That's another good question. Here's how to buy Bitcoin. Was Sinbad in a 90s genie movie? The answer, obviously,
No.
yes. Sinbad starred in a 1990s genie
Get the
movie called
fuck out of
Shazam.
here.
However, this is directly from ChatGPT, by the way. However, it's worth noting that there's some confusion about this film. Many people remember Sinbad playing a genie movie, but there's no record of such a film ever being released. The movie that exists is often confused with this memory is Kazam, a 1996 film, which stars Shaquille O'Neal as a genie. This mix-up sometimes is attributed to the Mandela effect, where people have false memories of events and details. And I do not like people telling me that I'm confusing with Shaq and Kazam, because I know who Shaq is and I know who fucking Sinbad is, and I'm not confusing the two. But right here, you can watch all of our past live streams here, all of the fun stuff there. You can listen if you prefer, if you're more of an audiophile. You have all of our old all of our
actual audio files.
Yes, all of the audio files are there. So here's the latest mid-mic daily bite. Let me know if you can hear it, but you should be able to.
It's the mid-mic daily bite. It's the mid-mic daily.
Similarities, lack of social media presence.
I want to get to the good part.
It's a gray area that's ripe for exploitation. This AI music scandal does feel a bit like we're living in a Black Mirror episode.
Speaking of living in a sci-fi world, why don't we put our AI detection skills to the test? I've got a new segment idea. AI or human music edition.
All right, Chamber, it's time for our AI or human music edition segment. Are you ready to put your ear to the test?
As ready as I'll ever be, Bunchu. Though I'm starting to wonder if my own musical tastes were secretly programmed by an AI all along.
Let's hope not. Okay, here's our first clip. Listen carefully.
The melody is catchy, but there's something off about the vocals. They lack that human imperfection.
I see what you mean. The harmonies are almost too perfect. What's your verdict?
I'm going with AI on this one. It's like the musical equivalence of those eerily smooth faces you see in AI-generated portraits.
And you're right. This was indeed generated by AI.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. Funny story about that song. I created it on Udio yesterday, right before I sent it to you.
Yeah.
And the prompt was just the last song ever sung on Earth. And that's what
really?
Yes.
Von Friend's got a great comment here. Bunch of Chamber on NMC listening to an AI Bunch of Chamber on NMC is the final proof we're in a simulation. It is the
I couldn't think of anything you would enjoy more, quite honestly. You're a person who listens to our own show back 3 or 4 times in the same week.
Oh,
so
you make it 5 minutes, I'm gonna listen to that thing 12 times.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if I'm creating you new content that for you to listen to of you every single day.
I love it. This is great. My wife makes fun of me all the time. She's like, when she gets mad at me, and she's like, "Oh, you love the sound of your own voice." And then she'll throw, now that she knows that we have the voice emulators, she throws that in my face. She's like, "Oh, you even made like a bot that sounds like you, so you can just jerk off and listen to yourself."
I'm gonna make you a chat bot with your voice, so you can send it to her and just use it all the time, and that'd be pretty great. Two things. One, so yes, we are on a mission to overtake the British mid-mic crisis. So help us get there. Go to the website, leave us a review, subscribe, all of those things. Interact with us on X, because it is now our life mission to rank higher than those washed up Brits. And now Chamber is falling victim to a problem I used to have all the time when I got a mic. Oh, I like this better. Do this. There you go. That's fantastic. The Is your audio still there, Chamber, or no?
Yeah, I think so. Can you hear me? I'm sorry, I stopped talking.
So you have the thing going on that used to happen to me when I first got my camera, and it would always die in the middle of an episode. But we are on a mission to take over the British mid-mic crisis. I even said to Chamber yesterday, we should make it a running thing, give people updates, bi-weekly or something. And then when we finally do it, we invite them on the show. I think that's the way to go, right? And we celebrate their entire anthology and together as a championship, right?
I think that's great.
That's one thing. And then here is something you will be proud of, though. Because, Google may not know who we are, but Perplexity does.
Oh, well, that's even better than Google because
that's all that matters. Yes.
So I'm sorry. What am I?
All I typed in was mid-mic crisis, and this came up. We got this over here, and then it says the answer: mid-mic crisis refers to several different concepts depending on the context. Here are the main interpretations. Podcast. Mid-mic crisis is a tech podcast that explores topics such as artificial intelligence, crypto, Web3, with a comedic twist, hosted by Bunchu and Chamber. The podcast aims to make complex tech issues more accessible for a wide audience. Features discussions on the latest trends, controversies, and news in the tech world. And we are rated higher than the music album.
Oh, thank goodness. I couldn't be like, this is the happiest I could be right now. This is, I'm at a 10 out of 10.
The band is called DRS.
Okay, because I think you're right. It says DRS, mid-mic crisis all the time. I just assumed it was, it's not even the fucking band's name. It's the album name. We can't even get by. Oh, this is very upsetting.
It must be their greatest hits album or something,
I guess so. DRS. KRS-One? No, not the same. That's the British KRS-One.
Oh, look, we got a little DGen network up here. So if you do ever go Perplexity mid-mic crisis, we will show up. I wonder what would happen if I did Coffee with Captain. Should I try that?
Yeah, give it a shot. I bet you.
That's a pretty specific one.
Yeah.
So that one's gonna.
Let's see what we got here.
It's just gonna be Steve's huge Adam's apple.
There it is.
There they are. Look at those apes.
We like to see it.
Podcast on NFTs and Web3, and it's also a cars and coffee event associated with Captain's Quarters, which is a monthly car show held in Prospect, Kentucky. So you guys are in good company as well. The whole DGen network crew showing out. So that's gonna do it for us. We got 1 minute of pain coming up.
We sure do. Pain, you want to give us a thumbs up? Make sure you're good. Is that a thumbs up? That is a thumbs up.
That is a thumbs up. Let's go for 1 minute of pain.
He's not looking for any fame. It's too late to hide. Time for 1 minute of pain. 1 minute of pain.
Welcoming in producer Payne for 1 minute of pain. Payne, it's wonderful to see you this week. You've been deep in the new dad life. How is that going?
It's fantastic, but there's something new every day, and I never know if you're just trying to keep the child alive, right? Keep it moving.
Oh yeah,
18-year contract.
Yes, you're in survival.
18-year. Keep going, man. I feel like with the way the economy is going, this is a 40-year plan. This is
it's like a house mortgage, really.
Yeah, this is the amortization rate's going to be through the roof.
I am a little bit hurt that I feel like I'm being left out of your private conversations more and more, and just because I have a child doesn't mean that I don't want to feel. If anything, I need more interaction.
All right, okay. Well,
look who's feeling the male loneliness now, huh?
We have a lot of people in our main chat. That's the problem.
Yeah, we're trying to keep stuff on the DL,
Well, just kick them out. They don't care.
I don't know how to do that. That's beyond my purview.
You have to wait 2.5 years until they leave their own chat.
Yeah,
that's an inside joke. That's an inside joke
That is
that
an inside
nobody
joke.
gets except us. But
That
we
is a
found
very
it
good.
funny.
Payne, I have a question for you because I don't have to go to horseback riding today.
Oh, nice.
So we
Nice.
can go a little long. Are you a big Disney movie fan?
Yeah, I love Disney.
Bunch, you as well?
Sure. Like I
Sure.
said,
Okay.
it's a whole new world
Well,
out there.
I wanted to share. I got really excited about this. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but I'm going to share my screen again here one last time. This one. One second here. I want to make sure I'm showing you guys the right one. This is so Disney came out recently. This has been on the docket for the last couple of months, but there is a new pop punk cover album that Disney is putting out.
Hell yes.
Like, I'm telling you, I've been excited about this for months, and we finally got the release date. It is September 6th.
You know you're not sharing anything, right?
No, I'm just trying to, I have a billion tabs up. I'm just trying to get back to this one so I can share. So this is from YouTube, or this is from TikTok, pardon me. So it was just announced, like my favorite pop punk band is Newfound Glory.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was just announced that they were the first track on the album, and they're doing a Little Mermaid cover. And I'm going to play a little bit right now for you. Hopefully it's not too loud. I'm going to try to turn that down a bit. Let me know if it's too loud.
You want thingamabobs? I've got 20, but who cares? No big deal. I want more. I want more. I want to be where the people are. I see them dancing, walking around on those, what you call them? Feet.
Oh,
Flipping your legs are required for jumping, dancing,
Oh,
down up.
so good.
My
So
kids are
good.
going to get a healthy dose of this album.
So this has got
Oh, it comes
Newfound
out next week.
Yeah, next week. So it's got Simple Plan, Newfound Glory, Yellow Card, Plain White Tees, Bowling for Soup. I don't know.
Gosh.
Yeah, I don't know all of these bands, but those are the ones I
It's
knew.
like they've finally made something for the 40-year-old dads out there.
100%.
Yeah.
So this is, I don't know. Do
Well,
you guys share
I
similar
mean,
excitement?
my kid watches a ton of Spider-Man right now, and Spidey and His Amazing Friends on Disney is all the theme songs, all the songs are done by the dude from Panic at the Disco.
Really? That's fun.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Mhm.
So
So
yeah,
they're
I love
catchy.
a good theme song. So Payne, are you as excited about this as I am? Were you a pop punk cover kid?
I was not, but I do appreciate the sound of that. That was actually better than I thought it would be. So I'm interested
For the
to
record,
listen.
Newfound Glory is the best at making pop punk covers, bar none. I won't hear anything else besides that. If you want to have yourself a little fun, go on YouTube, just pull up if I'm sure Spotify. I think they put out a full album of covers back in like 2000, and they are phenomenal. So highly recommend Newfound Glory pop punk covers.
Fantastic. I did have a question for Payne, but I forget what it was. Oh, this if we have 2 more minutes, I have to tell this story.
Yeah.
So last week on the show, we were talking about how I trained the Flux image model on my own likeness, and we were showing some examples. And I brought up that I had been told a few times that I look like Steph Curry in the past, and you guys just died laughing because apparently you two talk behind my back all the
Yes.
time,
So,
and
side chat.
yeah, you have a side
We do.
chat, and I'm a subject of that side chat in terms of, I guess you had spoken before about how I look like Steph Curry, and so
We were going to, for the record, we were going to surprise you on the show that we've had many comments saying that.
Well, so get this. I'm on a call yesterday. I'm on a I would call it a very important call. And we're talking to somebody who was potentially going to, be a partner in this business and a client and all this stuff, and a very successful person. And he's in the middle of talking, and he just goes, "I'm sorry, I have to stop and interrupt. Joe, you have to have been told this before. You look exactly like Steph Curry." And I was dying, like literally in the middle of this call. I could not control my laughter. And I told the story of last week on the podcast to this guy, and he was cracking up. At the end of the call, he goes, "I got to take a picture of you."
No way.
And
That
I
is-
just did, and I posed and did the Steph Curry sleep from the Olympics.
Yes.
And that was that. So I thought that was a funny story after
Amazing.
our conversation.
had no one ever? So is it just over the last 2 weeks that this has come
No,
up?
I've gotten it a couple times in the past. I haven't gotten it in quite some time.
Okay,
So
that's interesting.
it's probably been, I don't know, a year or more since, and now it's like all at once. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I said I look.
I wanted to share one more story. So, Bunch, in the middle of your story, I start to feel something wet on my leg as my son is in my lap, as I'm rocking back and forth. Turns out he was peeing, but I did not break character. So I wanted that to be known.
Oh, wow. This is incredible hustle, Payne.
Yeah.
I am.
love to
So now you're just sitting there.
I was not familiar with
covered
her
in
game,
pee.
Payne.
Yeah. So good. Hey, this is a good episode or segment of What's Too Many. What's too many hosts to be sitting in pee?
Ooh. I hope it's
the
3.
And that's gonna do it for us today. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us a comment, a review. Tell me I look like Steph Curry, pee on Payne's leg, whatever you want to do. Just engage with us. That's gonna do it. Until next time, keep the mic hot.
What have I done? What have I become? I can't describe this.